Thank you for tuning into The Reading, produced by Black Spectrum Network. Please go to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com to purchase a private psychic reading. If you can't get enough of my content, go to patreon.com/Black Spectrum Network. For as little as $2 a month, you can get these and other videos at least 1 week ahead of their YouTube release date. Please like this video, click the subscribe button, and leave some feedback in the comments section. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these tarot cards about Cat Williams. Okay, so my first question for Cat Williams is I want to know why is he beefing with so many comedians? Why is Cat Williams beefing with so many comedians? What is going on with his energy? Okay. So I get the Page of Swords, the Six of Hazards, the Justice card. Specifically what I'm saying with Cat Williams is that I see that Cat Williams is actually retaliating against things that have been done to. He's retaliating against people who have harmed him in the industry. But I'm saying this happening behind the scenes. I'm saying that these people have either tried to get him eliminated from participating in certain award shows and certain I'm saying specifically like award shows and keep trying to bar him from certain events. But I'm also seeing that he feels that there is a sort of competitiveness and cattiness amongst different male comedians. And I'm also saying it coming from like 3 different comedians in particular. One of them I do see them being Kevin Hart. I do feel like Cat Williams feels as though these his teams have taken swipes at his team in some way, or they've tried to stop him from getting to the bag. But this is all coming from his perspective. So what I'm also saying is that Cat Williams he feels that where he is right now, that he should be able to say whatever he wants to now about someone in his industry's character or their character and how they go about conducting their business. He wants to highlight these different inequalities. Basically, he wants to highlight, how black culture, black behaviors, black humor is not as appreciated, or it's not being funded by the mass media. And he's trying to say that only certain he's trying to highlight that only certain types of humor are being only certain types of humor are being pushed by a mass media machine as profitable. And he feels and some of these artists, they're artists. I mean, that's what they are. Comedians are artists. So I apologize for trying to correct myself. A comedian is an artist. But I'm saying that some of these artists I'm saying that some of these artists, do have a crabs in the barrel mindset in a way, but it works in this way. It's like Cat Williams is, beefing with other comedians, yes, and in that way he is, contributing to a divisiveness, an intra-community divisiveness. But then I'm saying it on the other hand that the other people are also, subscribing, they're not being honest about how this industry works and why it is that certain people are, paid, so much money. I see him happen. I see Cat Williams trying to appear fair and balanced by the Justice card, but I also see it as like he's trying to tell the truth and have other people come out and prove his truth by, it's almost as though, like, if you get what I'm saying, Cat Williams is baiting these people into arguing with him, and he's trying to basically show you that the reason that they're arguing is evidence that he's saying something that's true. That's how he feels about it. So it is catty, and it's catty from him. But he also feels like the industry is catty. But I hear it's an honest criticism. Like he would say, like, the industry is, it is, bitchy, but I can be bitchy myself, but I'm still a man. Like him trying to be funny through it as well. But the Hermit card in this particular position is saying that Cat Williams doesn't really even care about the criticisms. He feels like it's just more, he's just drumming up more attention for himself. That's it. He's just like, I'm already successful and I'm going to continue being successful, and I make other people successful. So part of it is he, internally he feels that he's doing the people that he's arguing with a favor by them being able to get popular from arguing with him. But then I'm also saying that internally he's internally struggling with a lot of things. I think part of him wants to be, I feel that part of him doesn't, he feels like he's not showing himself in all dimensions. If that makes any sense. He doesn't feel that he's showing his true humanity. He doesn't want to be character. He's trying to show that he's a three-dimensional human being as best he can, but at the same time, he doesn't want to be bothered by the media. And he feels conflicted about that. So he's pretty much, how do I say this? He's pretty much just trying to provide people with a full comedic experience and a full experience of himself and his career and why he is where he is. And in addition to that, this is just how he thinks about it. He thinks about these things from a place of financial domination. At the end of the day, there's a different means to an end, and the end is always financial domination for him. Did Wanda's husband pull Wanda from, I can't remember, Wanda, Frank and Wanda, Franksky and Wanda, did her husband pull a gun on him? I want to know, did Wanda's husband pull a gun on Cat Williams? It definitely looks like it. I mean, I get the Tower card, so I get that. Just from the Two of Wands, is the Two of Wands and the Four of Cups together. These two cards are telling me that I get this Papa Bear energy from Wanda's husband, that he's patriarchal, like overly protective Southern countryman. Very, not so much smooth, but he's definitely, a manly man. His general, he's not been a general laborer, but he's definitely managed general laborers. Like he's like an owner of things. Like he has like a sort of old school, Southern business energy about him. And I get that he kind of just like flashed the gun. It's like, I got a gun, or like he kind of just like it's not like he pointed a gun at him, but he made it known that he had a gun. And Cat Williams ran, like it's the Two of Wands is like this is all from, I guess the truth lies in the husband's perspective. So whatever the husband has said is the truth. He didn't pull a gun out, but from the husband's perspective, not even, I guess that's from, no, I know that the way the cards are pointing is they're telling me that from the husband's perspective, it's the most accurate. So yeah, he felt like he had to protect his wife, and he also wanted to impress his wife as well. But I get that he flashed the gun to Cat Williams. I don't see it as he was like, yo, gun in your face, motherfucker. I don't see it like that. But I also see that he didn't want to escalate it. Like, he didn't want it to go that far. Part of it was intimidation. He knew what he was doing. Okay, what I'm seeing in my vision is that he made a certain maneuver with his hand, or with, it's a certain maneuver with his hand that kind of just flashed the gun to where Cat Williams could see it. But he didn't pull it out and point it at him. So yeah. The next question is, what's his beef with Kevin Hart? He feels like Kevin Hart has absorbed a lot of opportunity. Like, it's a bit of jealousy there. It's like he feels that Kevin Hart has over absorbed a lot of opportunities. And he feels like he's amassed too much success, and not everyone is able to eat. He also feels like Kevin Hart is leaving people to fight for scraps, and that Kevin Hart isn't doing enough to open up new opportunities. Like, with his success, with his success, is he doing more to open up new opportunities for people that have been working hard in the industry? I get that it's like, from the Five of Wands, it's about Kevin Hart narrowly escaping a very cannibalistic culture. And I see it as kind of like a dog eat dog world in the comedic world. I'm not a comedian. Haven't studied the sociology of comedy culture, but anyway. The Five of Hazards is talking again, and it's another five is instability. So he feels like, again, this is where I'm drawing from. He feels like Kevin Hart is leaving people to fight for scraps, but he feels like Kevin Hart is a very strong businessman. He feels like Kevin Hart deserves his success. He feels like Kevin Hart's success is deserved in terms of him being a strong personality, a consistent businessman. But at the same time, I hear but at the same time, I'm hearing that he feels like there should be women dominating. He feels like women should be dominating in this industry. And he also feels like women comedians should be dominating in that industry. He feels like there are women comedians that have been putting in a lot of work to get to where Kevin Hart is with the Six of Cups, but he doesn't think of that in a way that it's like that they can't coexist with one another. He definitely feels that there should be a semiotic relationship there. But again, Cat Williams puts it in his head is like, Kevin Hart needs to do more to, reconfigure how the system works. That's his main criticism of Kevin Hart. But the rest of it, of what I'm hearing is that the rest of like what he says about Kevin Hart is really just comedic. It's like, you want to come for me, I'm gonna come for you. Or you want to keep going, I'll keep going with you. But at the core of it, I feel that it's more about what the cards just said. At the very base of it. Is Cat Williams on drugs? Now that I am sober, me and you are done. Cat Williams is what I would call a temporary user, a temporary addict, It's only temporarily, it's like sometimes he uses, sometimes he doesn't, but it's I'll say this about him. From the Ace of Cups, Cat Williams uses when he's in relationships, and he's more prone to using in relationships. And I get that he has an addictive personality, so people that, you know, do use hard drugs, he would, you know, be more likely to use hard drugs. I get that he tries to stay away from it, and I also get that he I get that he tries to stay away from it because it throws him off his game as far as comedy goes. But when he does drugs, he's usually like his mind works in such a way that when he does drugs, he's at his best, but he can only do a reasonable amount of it. And he has to do it temporary. Like he can't do it for years at a time. I also get that. I get this about him, that I get that he's been abused. He's definitely been physically abusive and verbally abusive when he's on drugs. He's slipped out. He's slipped into different characters and slapped people. Like domestic situations. He's slipped out of himself. But I also see that it's also, again, like an addictive personality. So it's like, that's the best way, that's the most that I can say, is that he's more likely to use when he's in a relationship, but he tries not to. He typically will have control over himself, but he can get to a point where, you know, he's done too much or he's been on it too long, and he could slip out of character, and then he acts way out of character. And I've described some of the things that he could do out of character. All right, you know what that means. Thank you for tuning into The Reading, produced by Black Spectrum Network. Please go to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com to purchase a private psychic reading. If you can't get enough of my content, go to patreon.com/Black Spectrum Network. For as little as $2 a month, you can get these and other videos at least 1 week ahead of their YouTube release date. Please like this video, click the subscribe button, and leave us some feedback in the comments section. Before I go, I leave you with this quote from Iyanla Vanzant. The answer always lives in the same room as the question. You are the answer. I'm your reader, Nexo, and thank you for tuning in to The Reading.
So fuel my fire, take me higher, I'll be your liar too. Cause when we're here, there's nothing better than the skyline.